I'm running out of booze.
Welcome back. Apparently we have to finish the leaks. So
Finishers, people.
Okay, let's finish this. Welcome back. We came back. This is the Star Wars Treat My Dog is Licking My co-host's face.
So if you hear it, I'm sorry.
Stop licking. Honey. Stop licking. You are adorable. You were so much better than this stupid movie. Disclaimer, we don't have proof that this was the original actual treatment by J.J. Abrams. So, for all we know, some dude made this up.
Yeah.
But if this was made up by somebody else, this person knows JJ's writing style phenomenally well. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, so we're just going to go through this. And this is Act 3. So we're going to go through it, and we're going to wrap up what we thought, how this movie stands in comparison to The Last Jedi. Not to a decent film, but to The Last Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, Act 3, back on Atchu. Rey and Ahsoka walk through the rocky catacombs behind the first Jedi temple. Ahsoka tells her the story of Darth Vader and her time fighting in the Rebel Alliance. This is Act... Okay. Suddenly, sirens blare. I'm guessing that's a...
Yeah. They're not the fish people.
Throughout the bell. I like the fish people. I could use some fish people. Rey looks at the hourglass and sees there is still a small amount of sand left. Luke runs in to say he senses intruders. No, duh, the sirens are blaring. You don't need to sense them. Intruders in orbit. Kylo Ren has found the planet. They run to their predetermined attack positions. Rey, Luke, and Ahsoka quickly put on their battle armor. At least they got armor, which will probably do nothing. Chewie and R2 streak down the coast of Ahch-To in the Millennium. Wait, so is Ahch-To the island or the planet?
I don't know.
It says streak down the coast of Ahch-To.
I don't know. It might just be the island. Who knows?
In the Millennium Falcon, hoping to fight off the first wave of attacks.
So a droid and a Wookiee are going to fly this thing.
Because...
Okay.
Luke didn't think this through very well. Kylo Ren shoots out of the sky, and in his advanced TIE
Executor?
Okay.
I'm assuming that's a ship.
Alright. Daphne sits behind him. They're flanked on either side by 2 TIE fighters, flown by the Knights of Ren. The Millennium Falcon...
Well, they all fit in 2 TIE fighters? Okay.
This little squish scene from Lego Batman. You know, why did you build only one seat? Last time I checked, I had one butt.
Yeah, it's basically that. Okay.
I love that movie. It's so stupid. I like it just because it's dumb. The Millennium Falcon attacks Kylo straight on. It's a dogfight over the island of Ahch-To. So I'm guessing Ahch-To's the island?
Okay.
Or he forgot. JJ could have forgotten.
Who knows?
The 2 TIE fighters break off and head toward the beach. Chewie blasts Kylo's wings off. Nice.
Let me guess, he makes it through this one too.
Yeah. Even though he should have died from the G-Force. And his TIE fighter crash lands into the surf. As he and Daphne emerge...
So they made it!
Probably with their hair done and their clothing not even that wet.
Yeah.
From the smoldering waves, Rey and Ahsoka stand before them, lightsabers blazing. The 4 combatants duel on the shore of Ahch-To. Kylo fights Rey all the way up the edge of the cliff. She jumps off the precipice and into the open door of the hovering Millennium Falcon.
Okay. I'm gonna say this here. I think JJ might have written this because I'm pretty sure he stole scenes from this to write Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, yes, I'm pretty sure.
I'm just saying that here. Speculation! I'm going to say that right here. Okay. Oh, gosh.
What is the Falcon doing there?
I don't know.
She runs around the Falcon's circular hallways as Chewie spins the craft 180 degrees. She blasts out the other side with her jetpack on. Okay, so the jetpack paid off. Because she could see she's gonna need it.
Yeah.
Oh, they fly now! They fly now! They fly now!
As Kylo sprints towards the bell, Rey spirals towards... So she, like, spiraling out of control.
Yeah, she's out of control.
Or something. Descending, her force pushes a pile of rocks onto him, which he tries to deflect mid-collapse. Well, you could deflect...
That's Gallop.
Oh, wait. Whatever. Mid-gallop. Wait, he stopped the blaster bolt.
Yeah, shouldn't that be like... I don't know.
So, we're totally traveling at a faster speed than whatever Rey's doing.
Yeah.
So this should be easy. On the far side of the beach, 3 Knights of Ren jump out of their TIE fighter, Luke waiting for them with his green lightsaber, charges. He attacks them all on...
He takes them all on.
He takes them all on, cutting and slicing with his saber, and using force pushes and fire because they're fighting.
Oh, he uses lightning!
This is...
By accident!
This is the badass Luke Skywalker we've all been waiting for. What?
Well, it's like he has the Force lightning. It says so right there.
Oh, it does. I thought you were a good guy.
I don't know.
Okay.
He did it by accident.
They were once his students. Now they're dead meat.
So he doesn't want to try redeeming them?
So, JJ. Are you admitting that you have no idea of what Luke's character was?
Yeah.
If these guys were once his students, these are people he trained.
These are kids he knew.
Yeah, he knew these guys as kids.
He isn't like trying to like stun them or something?
Like, he doesn't... His goal isn't to see if he can turn them back. I mean, he redeemed Darth Vader. He redeemed Anakin Skywalker.
He redeemed a murderer.
I mean, this guy has done way worse than what these pussies have done.
Yeah.
And he's just slaughtering them?
Maybe he has more in common with Ryan than we thought.
I mean, no offense, but I actually think that Hermit Luke makes a little more sense in one aspect.
Mm-hmm.
If he had to make a decision between killing his students and fleeing, Luke Skywalker probably would have fled. I'm not saying he would have pussed out like he did in Last Jedi, but the Luke Skywalker from the original movies, yeah, he killed a bunch of stormtroopers, he was fighting the bad guys, but once he found out, like, the truth behind someone, he was pretty willing to extend a hand and forgive them. You know? And I don't know, I just can't see... I mean, if the Knights of Ren were his students, I can't see him trying to kill these guys. If these were the guys who turned Kylo evil, these were workers for Snoke, oh yeah, those guys are dead meat.
Mm-hmm.
You turned my nephew.
Mm-hmm.
How dare he? But if these were his students, people he trained... Also, why didn't they have lightsabers if they were students? Or force powers?
I don't know.
Because it says that Luke's doing a bunch of force powers. Or are they all doing force powers?
Maybe they had better weapons in this version.
Because... Yeah, I can't see Luke doing that. Because that's a complete change of character. Like, him fighting them and whipping them, yes. Him being like, oh, you're all dead meat. No, I can't see him doing that. That doesn't sound like something Luke would do. He would give him a chance. If they didn't take that chance, then...
Yeah, probably.
Maybe, yeah. But he would give them a chance first. He would extend the olive branch. If they don't take the olive branch, he'll beat them with it. But he would extend it first. And they don't mention that. He's waiting for them with his lightsaber ablaze.
Yeah, it's not like he's standing there without it yet.
Yeah, if he's standing there with it in his robe, and they approach him, and he tries to talk to them... Also, you could have had a really cool thing where he gets through to one of them, and the other one, like, one of the Knights of Ren's gonna kill him. He can't turn around fast enough, and the other Knights of Ren, whaps him in half.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been pretty like, oh, dang it. Yeah.
I mean, one of the biggest problems with these Star Wars movies is that there's loads of places for moral quandary.
Yeah.
But they're like, oh no, this is good, this is bad, this is good, this is bad, this is good, this is bad.
I don't know, because it seemed like they were trying to, like, everyone kept saying, oh, we want more gritty, we want, like...
Which these have setups for more gritty.
And it's like, yeah, you could make this dark.
Yeah, you could make this dark, especially if you made Poe related to people. That's pretty dark.
Yeah. Anyway.
I'm also running out of soda.
Yeah, I ran out of soda. We have to do this before we run out of soda. Mm-hmm. Anyway. Told you I don't have enough booze.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not,
And then he chases one over and gets eaten by a sea monster.
Yeah.
Reincorporation!
Stupid reincorporation. Leviathan lunges from the surf and drags the struggling knight run under. Why do we have a Leviathan?
I don't know.
Okay. That was stupid.
Okay.
Yeah, that seems really stupid. I mean, I would like to see Luke being awesome and bad A, but if these were his students...
No.
I have a really hard time seeing Luke doing that.
Yeah. Unless he was driven to it.
Yeah, he'd have to have his hand forced.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would make much more sense if he's waiting for them without his lightsaber in hand.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I mean, I think they're trying to play a reference to Obi-Wan fighting Anakin, but he wasn't there to redeem... He can't redeem Anakin.
No.
It wasn't his job. And also, he let Anakin kill him, so he could be stronger.
Yeah.
So, just pointing that out. Okay, as Ahsoka and Daphne duel on the beach, Kylo sprints closer to the bell. He runs up the hill towards it. Just as Rey sets her sights on Kylo, she is barraged with scatter shot of laser fire which emanates from the second TIE fighter. She blasts up into the air and defeats the lasers with her lightsaber, expertly piloting her jetpack.
Mm-hmm.
That we haven't seen her learn how to use.
Yeah. That was part of the training montage earlier, who knows?
Maybe. She cascades around the cliff and shoots behind the ship as she dodges rear laser fire. She then lands on top of the TIE fighter and slashes its wings off. Yeah, he definitely took stuff from this.
Yeah.
Or this was written after the Rise of Skywalker and posted as leaks. Is the only other explanation I got.
Yeah. See, I had a better version. Shut up.
No. Begins to spiral out of control. She's thrown off, only to fall on top of the Millennium Falcon. Again, she falls in the Millennium Falcon. It's a ship, not a safety net. Saved again by Chewie.
I'll get the exclamation point out of there.
Chewie, I got a better idea. Why don't you shoot the freaking TIE fighters? That's what Han did in the first movie. He shot the freaking TIE fighters, remember?
He doesn't have anybody in the cockpit. Because for some reason they don't have guns.
He has R2. He could have... Well, you could put some guns on it. She regains her footing, literally surfing the Millennium... Oh, gosh.
Yep, surfing the Millennium Falcon? Oh my gosh.
Oh, I'm actually glad this movie wasn't made. Oh, no, wait, that's for the end. That's for the end. And directs Chewie to drop her off next to the temple. Chewie roars as he spies Kylo Ren speeding towards the golden steps. He flies forward it?
Toward it.
Oh, towards it, okay. I can't even read, this is so bad. Rey tries to blast off with her jetpack, but it was damaged in the fall. As soon as Chewie reaches the bell, she ditches the jetpack and jumps off. Speeding after Kylo, who quickly runs inside, he locates the meditation chamber and grabs the ancient Jedi holocron. Was he looking for that?
This is Rise of Skywalker! It's not the holocron.
What?
It's got the stupid... Okay.
He has the McMuffin. He grabs the sacred Jedi McMuffin.
Yeah. Oh, no. Okay. Yeah, they didn't establish that was anything really important.
I don't remember Kylo looking for that.
No, it basically was just moping over his face this whole movie, so...
Well, he wanted to find the Falcon, so he goes back to Jakku.
But he doesn't even go back. He sends Daphne.
Oh, that's right. And then... What was the point of that?
I don't know. Besides finding a way to find the island, that was it.
Oh, okay.
Moving on. So he finds the McMuffin.
Rey force pushes it out of his hands while chasing after him. They ignite their lightsabers and engage in brutal duel. Back on the beach, Ahsoka finally beats Daphne, knocking her unconscious and hanging her upside down with a rope. You could have just killed her.
Why wasn't Luke doing that?
Well, Ahsoka was already fighting.
No, I mean, not Daphne, but just knocking out his own students.
Because they wanted Luke to be bloodthirsty all of a sudden.
Okay.
Which makes no sense. Okay, we're almost done.
Okay.
We're almost done. Almost done. Meanwhile, in orbit, Captain Phasma's ship finally reaches Octu. She aims her ventral cannon toward Luke's island.
So we literally have Star Wars. That's a history joke for anyone who doesn't get it.
What?
That's what people joked about because Reagan wanted, like, things that you could shoot stuff from space. And everyone nicknamed it Star Wars. So we literally have Star Wars now.
Yay.
Yay.
Congrats.
Congratulations.
So happy. Thrilled. Ecstatic.
Yay.
Good on you.
Moving on.
Just as they are about to decimate it, Poe and Finn and their squad of X-Wings come out of hyperspace. They bombard her ship with proton torpedoes. What's a proton torpedo?
I think it's like a bigger laser. I think.
Stupid. And laser fire. They say laser fire.
I don't know. I don't know how this stuff works. I just watched the movies. That's it.
Crippling it. BB-8's drops down an exhaust shaft and is picked up by Poe. He and Finn immediately fly down to Octu, back to the Bell. Rey and Kylo fight like two cats in a bag.
What?
So they're gonna have a cat fight?
Okay. Well, Kylo's a pussy. Okay, anyway.
Kylo disarms Rey, who, lying in the center of the meditation chamber, cradles the Jedi McMuffin for dear life. It begins to glow and stream just as Kylo raises his dreaded crossguard lightsaber. Why is it called the dreaded crossguard lightsaber?
I don't know.
It's a lightsaber. We know what it looks like. To deliver Rey's death blow, he's suddenly frozen. Luke's young son, Tyus, appears from the shadow holding Kylo Ren in stasis with the Force. Luke's daughter, Kay, jumps up and pushes a red button on the wall, locking both Rey and Kylo under an impenetrable force field. They've got him. Yay!
Yay! Like I care.
Luke and Ahsoka arrive. Kylo taunts Luke, "I can still kill her, you know." Go ahead. Are you really going to keep me trapped here forever with her corpse?
Why not?
Well, you could leave her alive, so someone to play rummy with. Or go fish, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
As Kylo struggles to break free and go in for the kill, Rey grabs the holocron with both hands.
I thought she was still holding it.
Just cradling it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, cradles it for dear life. With both hands, it smokes and flashes with feverish intensity. Kylo slowly fighting the Force status brings his lightsaber down close to her exposed neck. Suddenly, Rey flickers in and out of existence like before, but then she disappears. Kylo is dumbfounded. Luke smiles. "You always were gullible, Kylo." I thought your name was Ben. Why'd you call him Ben?
Who knows?
Also, why is Luke so freaking happy to have his nephew trapped? Shouldn't this be a sad moment for him?
He was willing to kill his own students. I don't think he cares.
I don't think this is Luke. This is still Jake Skywalker.
We'll rank that later.
No wonder Snoke so easily turned you. Now you're our prisoner for eternity. Did you talk to Leia about this? She might have a few things to say.
Probably not.
Poe and Finn finally make their way to the meditation chamber. How do they know where to go? Luke tells them they've beaten Kylo, but Rey is gone. Wouldn't Poe's reaction that be, okay? Also, this would make more sense if Poe was related to everybody.
Mm-hmm. Why is it on everything? Or
Well, it would make more sense in a lot of ways. One, he's the guy Leia sends out to get the map.
Okay.
Why she trust him more than anybody else? If he's family, he has extra status, despite as well as being the best pilot. Because you guys can all say, "Well, he's the best pilot, so ipso facto," But it's like, this is Luke, and if she needs exact coordinates, she's been in contact with him, so maybe she doesn't have exact coordinates. This is a family affair.
Yeah, family issues.
Even if Poe is only related through Han.
Mm-hmm. He's still a family.
He's still family. He would have, spent time with them, know them. And so it would make sense, like, Poe lands on the ship, on the island.
Mm-hmm.
And Poe lands on the island, and he runs into Audra, who's like, I think they're at the temple.
Mm-hmm.
My kids are there, and, or whatever, and he goes running to the temple.
Also, okay, quick question. Okay, I get why you need Tyus to do the trap. Why isn't Audra there to make sure kids don't get blasted?
That might be a good idea. Or, I'm just sitting here going, wouldn't Poe be looking for them?
Yeah. Just saying.
Are they still alive? Did we get here too late?
Mm-hmm.
So that would explain them running into the temple, because he'd see the big shiny gold thing and be like, oh, maybe they're there. Or whatever. Or maybe Finn finds them with the Force. I don't know, finds something. But, that would be a really cool moment. Like, Poe walks in there, and this the first time we've seen Luke in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And his brother or half-brother is now in a cage.
Yeah. Anyway.
That could be a really emotional scene.
Okay, so
Rey's gone. Back on Snoke's planet of sarcasm. Leia's strike team arrives. They get into a firefight with Snoke's royal guards, and most of them are killed. One bounty hunter, Kilmet Erg.
I would say Kermit for a second.
I know. I was like, wait a minute.
Oh no, Kermit would shot people.
Yeah, that'd be pretty awesome. Kermit shows up. Does make it... Okay, so most of them were killed. At the bounty hunters or the guards?
I'm assuming they're talking resistance. I don't know.
Okay. Does make it to the lower levels, and what seems to be a laboratory. He enters a frozen chamber and sees something displayed in a glass case. He takes a holographic picture of it and sends it to General Leia. Just as the transmission goes through, he gets killed, and as his limp body falls to the floor, he sees Snoke standing over him, his crippled hands extended.
Oh, you killed Kermit.
I thought Snoke was frail. You said that earlier.
Yeah, you couldn't apply Force stuff here. It's like he can't stop.
Okay, his hands extended, so he used the Force to...
Yeah, to break his neck.
So that's implied.
Yeah, it could be.
But I'm just like, okay, so he's strong with the Force but weak in body? Okay. Admiral Ackbar, who did not die, receives the image and runs to tell General Leia's... goes towards General Leia's quarters. She looks at it, mouth agape, and says, it's the severed hand of my brother... See, it's the severed hand. My brother's severed hand. The question is, what are they using it for?
Cloning! I don't know. Okay.
Actually, that would make a lot of sense if that's where Rey comes from. But then you could still use Finn for this.
Yeah.
Clone?
Yeah. He doesn't have to look like him. He's just a clone.
You just really need the important DNA parts, really.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you could just replace Rey with Finn. Epilogue. Rey appears back in the Sith Acropolis on the Platinum Throne 300 generations ago in the Old Republic. Her eyes glow red. Many loyal subjects bow before her and chant. She's visibly shaken. Where is she? How did she get here? Rey is trapped in the past. She is now Talsden lit.
Time travel.
Yep.
We put time travel.
So is this to explain why Talsden Lit defected to the good side? Is because she got body... Alright, hold on. So is this Quantum Leap levels of dumb? Well, okay, alright, first off, Quantum Leap is a good show. It hurts your head, but it's a good show. Oh wow, we only did 20 minutes. Quantum Leap's a good show. Don't get me wrong. I've enjoyed it. I did it a good job. I hope it never gets remade. Mm-hmm. But at least Quantum Leap explained that they had a waiting room where the person that Scott Bakula, I don't remember his character's name. It's been a long time. Is replaced. No, so Scott Bakula is literally in the past. Mm-hmm. Literally, they just can't see him. They just see the person he's supposed to look like because it's a holographic cover. But it's literally Scott Bakula. And the person he's pretending to be is in the future. Mm-hmm. They explained that. So does that mean that Lit is in the future and Ray is in the past?
I don't know.
Did they get swapped? Did Ray minus out Lit's soul and is now completely in her body? Who is this woman?
Why do we care?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Because, okay, so this is where I really don't agree with J.J. Abrams, because J.J. Abrams, I watched his little talk about mystery boxes, and in his little talk, he talks about how mystery opens up, endless possibilities. This is where I have a problem with mystery box storytelling. I don't mind things being a mystery. Mm-mm. I really didn't need to know who Luke's mom was. It wasn't a big deal to me.
Yeah.
You figured he had one. That was good enough. Leia kind of remembered her. I didn't need to see Rogue One. There was nothing in there that I needed to know. But I didn't need to know who these characters were. I didn't need to know how they got the plans. I didn't need to know that the person who got the plans was related to the person who designed them. I didn't need to know any of that.
No.
Those are mystery boxes. How did Leia get the plans exactly? No one knows. Who gave Leia the plans? Who cares? What's important is she has the plans. So that's kind of a mystery box. Mm-hmm. Plans magically appeared. Why does Old Man on Planet have a map to Luke Skywalker? That has a slightly more, I would like, an explanation. Because it literally affects someone's actions that we need to know about. Mm-hmm. The Death Star is this big blob of metal that we come to learn we should destroy because it can blow up planets.
Yeah.
So we just assume, well, they got the plans from the Imperial Archives. We can assume that. Mm-hmm. We can put things together. We can piece things together from what is shown to us in A New Hope. Because of JJ's mystery boxes, he has created what I would call an incoherent mess.
Okay.
Because he doesn't want to be backed into a corner. This is where a lot of writers disagree with me, because I actually think limitation is good.
Yeah.
I think having limitation, it forces you to be more creative in many ways. Because when you have that limitation, you have to find ways to get a satisfying outcome, or as close to an outcome that you want, while not breaking the rules. Mm-hmm. Or not throwing out something that you previously established. So I am a huge fan of limitation. Mm-hmm. Because limitation, it creates tension, it creates character motivation, it creates this understanding for the audience. So while we're watching the story unfold, we can sit there putting and piecing the story together as we're watching the other. We can read the subtext of these characters' actions as they're doing other things. That's what limitations do. They create subtext.
It's like, you can't think out of the box if you don't have a box.
Yeah, you need the box. Mm-hmm. You need the box, and the audience needs to know where the box is. Mm-hmm. And the box also needs to be open. So I like to think of storytelling kind of more in, you present the audience with an open box, but because of where we're sitting in the seats, we can only see whatever the storyteller pulls out of the box. Mm-hmm. So we know there's more components in the box. Or it's more like, you look at those 3D models. Mm-hmm. The ones with the armature inside of it.
Okay.
You see those models and they can't stand on their own, so they have to have an internal skeleton to hold them up. Think of it like that. You look at the model, you know there's a skeleton, but you don't see the skeleton. But you don't have to see the skeleton to know it's there. You know there's something in there keeping everything together. And you have a fairly good idea what it is. You don't know exactly what it looks like, unless you see pictures, but let's say we don't see the skeleton, the armature. You don't know exactly what it looks like, but you know it's there, and you know it's functioning. That's so I think storytelling works better like that, where the writer knows the bones of the story. They know why characters know these things, how the character got this information, how the character got here to here to here, why the character is doing this, why the character is acting that way, and they let the character's actions fill in the blanks for the reader or the viewer so that we're not lost. But in order for that subtext, you need limitations. I mean, it's like World War II. All right, let's think World War II really quick. So when I went over to China, World War II stories are very different from Western World War II stories. Mm-hmm. We're very German-focused. What happened in Germany and Austria and Europe, basically. In China, everything is Japanese. You say World War II, it's, oh, I hate the Japanese.
Yeah.
You know, they talk about the one massacre that the Japanese did, and they still haven't forgiven the Japanese for that. And they talk about all sorts of terrible things the Japanese did to the Chinese. It's very different. I mean, people over in China have very little understanding to no understanding what a Nazi is. Mm-mm. They don't know that the swastika has a negative connotation to Americans. Mm-hmm. They don't understand why we make a big deal, or, you know, I didn't make a big deal because I knew the different ways of seeing the swastika when I went over there. So I didn't make a big deal when I saw it, even though I am Jewish descent. I didn't make a big deal about it. But I did talk to the tour guide about it, and he was like, yeah, I don't get why a lot of Americans or British or other people come over, they see the swastika and they freak out, especially when they're older. Mm-hmm. I don't get it. So I kind of talked to him about it, and it's very interesting. So it's like, so to us, from a Western side, we know all these World War II stories. It's always Hitler, 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 Hitler. Mm-hmm. So to them watching a World War II movie, a lot of things would not be very clear.
Like, huh?
Exactly. They'd be like, what are you guys talking about? Now let's say we watched a World War II movie set in China, talking about the Japanese attacks. Mm-hmm. Because you think Japanese in World War II, you instantly think Pearl Harbor. Mm-hmm. But if you're talking about the massacre that the Japanese did on the Chinese, that movie is going to be like, okay, we're going to have to set up why, the leading up into why this happened for us stupid Americans. Because we don't know. Well, if you make a Western World War II movie for a Western audience, you don't have to explain why Hitler's in power. Mm-mm. You don't have to explain why there are people in this one area. You just need to explain, this is the mission. We're going to go do this mission. Guns in Navarone, great example.
Because you know what the plot is.
Yeah, World War II. Destroy the guns. Got it.
Yep, all you need.
That's all you need. Because the subtext, the rules, the constricting rules, fill it all in. We know World War II. We get that. You watch Garrison's Guerrillas. There's no explanation to what World War II is in Garrison's Guerrillas. Mm-hmm. None. But you know what's going on. You have a mission. Blow this up. Got it. Mm-hmm. End of discussion. The hiding place. Yeah. All these stories, they don't explain this because there's rules constricting the environment of the story. Mm-hmm. So a lot of things don't need to be spelled out because of these rules. Reading this treatment, it's like reading a fever dream.
Okay.
It's like there's a bunch of cool spectacles, because JJ likes his spectacles, which I'm okay with. I think he'd make a better visual director, director of cinematography, than an actual storytelling director, because he does have some cool visuals. I'll give him that. He can have that. But I have so many questions, because everyone complains that The Last Jedi left us with a lot of questions because Ruin Johnson threw JJ's treatment out the window. I don't think this movie would have solved the problem.
Not really, depending on what you're looking for.
Because it's a lot like The Last Jedi in the fact that when you're watching the movie in cinema, you'll probably have a good time. Because it is very spectacle, it's fast, except for the first part. You know, it's flashy, you get to see Luke with a lightsaber beating the snot out of people. You know, you have all of that. However, once you start thinking about it and you start noticing these plot holes that are not explained by anything, you know, we've read this entire thing. Who is Rey?
Still no idea.
Was she created by Luke's hand? That would explain why Luke was able to find her and attach onto her.
Yeah.
You know, she has a similar force readout.
Then why is she there? On Jakku, if she's that valuable.
How did she get away from the First Order?
Yeah.
Is this why Kylo makes a big deal about her?
Yeah.
She's not the only chick on Jakku. There are other chicks. You blasted most of them, but there were other chicks. Yeah, and so I'm sitting there reading this, and I'm like, I still got nothing. I got no idea where this is going. I've got no idea. And also, whose story is this?
Yeah, it looks like it's supposed to be Rey's, but Rey
doesn't have an end goal.
No.
Luke had an end goal. I gotta help I gotta destroy those bad guys because they killed my aunt and uncle. They are hurting people. And I gotta bring back... He wants to bring back the Jedis. And he wants revenge on Darth Vader.
And he wants to help a girl.
Well, yeah, he's tagging along on that one. I'm talking about after.
Okay, I know.
After A New Hope.
Okay.
At the end of A New Hope, in the beginning of Empire,
okay,
he has very set goals.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Jedi. I am learning to be a Jedi. I'm figuring out how to be a Jedi. And I am helping this resistance because I have interest in the resistance.
Mm-hmm.
The Empire destroyed my home. They killed my master. I hate Vader.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like him. And then, Vader's my dad.
Oops.
So now we have 2 years where he's probably thought this through.
Yeah.
I want to know why it took him 2 years to ask Yoda, is Darth Vader really my dad?
Yeah.
Also, you could have explained a lot of... If you did bring in Chiron, you could have explained that he was trained by Chiron.
Yeah. You didn't kill him off.
Yeah, if you hadn't killed off Chiron in Rogue One, Luke could have been trained by Chiron.
Yeah. For
2 years. Because you could have translated him going back to Dagobah as this is the first time since he left Dagobah. They could have run into Chiron. Like, he's with the Resistance. He's recovering. He got pretty beat up by Darth Vader. He's recovering, and he meets Chiron. And Chiron's like, I can teach you the ways of the Force. And so Chiron taught him.
Yeah.
But Chiron wouldn't know all this. He was just a Padawan. He doesn't know. And so he could ask Chiron, Chiron's like, I don't know the answer to that. And then he could ask Yoda, and Yoda says yes. And so there's things you could play with. But in this one, it's like, what is Rey's end goal? Why is she here?
Mm-hmm. Because literally, if you switched her out with Finn, not much
Finn
changes.
would make more sense, actually.
Yeah.
Nothing, I wouldn't say nothing changes. I would say that it's more... The story suddenly becomes a little bit more sensical, because you got Finn, who actually has a reason for turning against the First Order. They are creating soldiers in order to kill them, to use them as cannon fodder.
Yeah.
And he would want that
ended.
And also, he would have the problem of, do I just go in guns a-blazing, or is there someone in there I can bring over to our side?
Mm-hmm.
You got that. You got so many things you can do with Finn. Poe is also in a wonderful position.
Mm-hmm.
In this film, you could bring up he's related, which would have been a brilliant move.
Mm-hmm.
It would have endeared us to him a lot more. It would give him more of a stake in the story because this is his family that's been destroyed. Whether he's completely related to them or partially related to them, this is his family.
Mm-hmm. He's
not Leia's son, but he's Han's son. He's lost his parent, and now Leia's the closest thing he's got.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even Luke and Audra and their kids. He would be very protective of them. And he would be they're fighting and laying his life on the line to stop this. You have these two characters, Finn and Poe, who have great motivations, who you could give stakes, high stakes, who you could build a lot of conflict, who have reasons and interests in being here. Rey does not. She just kind of meanders around. Everyone gives her things. They still just give her things in this movie.
Yeah.
She's still just beloved. The
only thing that improves is that all her coolness was just Luke training her.
But that opens up the bag of worms of why her.
Yeah, then that opens another problem is why her?
Because they didn't answer that.
No, not at all.
And
they threw time travel in the end.
And then they threw time travel in at the end, and oh my gosh. And I still don't... I mean, is she the reincarnation of this woman? And then they bring in Luke's hand. Also, out of all the things from the first original trilogy, but all the things from the original trilogy you brought back Luke's severed hand.
Okay.
And they're like, oh, what nefarious things are they going to do with this? Well, why the crap didn't you go around cloning things? Is Snoke a clone of Luke?
That'd be fine. Really bad job, but yeah.
Why is Luke suddenly like this? He enjoys locking up his nephew, and he has no problem killing his students.
Yeah.
Character. I mean, what do you think? Alright, which Luke do you think is worse? This one or the one we got?
Oh, great. I haven't seen it. I've only seen Rise of Skywalker, so I could totally be wrong in my thing, but I've seen enough reviews, so hopefully I got this right.
I told you about it.
Yeah, you told me about it. So, I think the problem is that they botched the one in Last Jedi, where it's like, you could justify why he's like this, at least a little bit. with, like, how bad, like, he got whooped or whatever, or how much he lost or something like that. You could have justified. The problem is it wasn't. It was just whatever the heck they gave us. This one, you could have probably made it interesting where, like, yeah, Luke is still awesome, but he's had to, kind of like how you see him choke out guards in the beginning of Return of the Jedi and stuff. Like, okay, he is capable of doing ruthless acts, but also you've seen him redeem his father, who's done really bad things.
But he choked out Jabba's guards.
Yeah, Jabba, like, no one cares about Jabba's guards.
He's not...
Yeah, so it's like...
These are bad guys. These are bad guys.
Like little hench guys. It's like, yeah, who cares about them? Kind of a thing. Yeah. Like, no one cares. It's a little weird seeing him do it, but you're like, okay, yeah, you kind of see it. Like, these are his students. He probably raised these guys as kids if they're young. Like, they're Kylo Ren ages. Yeah, it's kind of weird he just goes and fight. Unless, like, you talk about, yeah, I tried turning them once and it didn't work. If you give him, like, some kind of line where it's like, yeah, I'm not so nice this time.
But it also begs the question of, okay, so Luke was able to control Rey. Doesn't that mean that
he can mess with them?
Snoke is able to control...
Oh, yeah.
These guys? He's getting mind-controlled...
Yeah, so why isn't he, like...
people.
Why doesn't he have a version of this Vulcan mind meld thing and, like, zapping them, like, breaking their connections or something?
Yeah.
Because maybe they are being mind-controlled by Snoke. Like he did Rey, kind of a thing.
Yeah, because that was... Because when you have him controlling Rey... You instantly bring in a whole bunch of questions with Snoke. What is Snoke able to do?
Like, is he controlling them? Is this their free will? Like, what?
Is that what Luke is talking about? You've always been super easy to trick with Kylo Ren? No, is he... Because for all we know, Luke is putting him in the cage to keep him out of the way so they can get rid of Snoke.
Maybe.
Because he can't break Snoke's connection on Kylo.
But, okay, that's another thing is... Alright, one thing I just thought of is I was thinking about most of this treatment, at least the Luke and Rey scenes, is about how she's never fitting anywhere and now she finally finds a family. Like, they have the birthday stuff, they have the interacting with the kids and his wife, and that never plays out. Like, we point out, there's a part where Luke tells her the whole plan, well, most of it, the majority of the plan, of, yeah, we're gonna trap Kylo. So it's like, that's setting up, it's gonna go wrong, kind of a thing.
But it goes right.
Yeah, it goes right. So it would have been like, you think it goes right, like, oh wait, maybe they actually did it, but then Kylo does something, or Knights of Ren do something, somebody does something to screw up the plan. He shoots one of the kids, I don't know, something. Rey, this is now her new family, so she does something, sacrificing herself, potentially, to make sure the plan goes through, or something like that. Like, there's nothing, she never gives up really anything. There's nothing really, like, where she decides to do something.
That's because she's not a character.
Because, people are like, well, she has to do the whole thing because Kylo's gonna kill her in a force field. No. Okay, the only thing is that would work is if she gets in that force field by her own choice to make sure Kylo stays where he's supposed to. Or two, one of the kids gets in there and she uses force mumbo jumbo to switch places. That's the only time, like, because her only thing is, like, the only thing that's going to go wrong in this situation, because they already catch Kylo, the only thing that's going to go wrong is she's going to die. No one else is affected. She's like, okay, I'm gonna zap myself out because only I'm affected.
Better question.
Nobody else gets affected.
Better question. Rey grew up on a desert planet.
Yeah.
So, and you saw her fighting the thugs in the first movie. Why don't you have the kid freezes Kylo. This is a kid. He's like, what, 8?
Yeah, he's 8 years old.
Kylo whips around and he smashes the kid against the wall.
Yeah.
And the kid slumps to the ground and his sister pushes the button. And, well, like, his sister can't reach the button, so he's about to turn on her. Rey jumps, grabs him on his back, and, like, you know, grabs him in like a chokehold. And then the girl, Kay, hits the button. Once she hits the button, they get the force field thing. Kylo can't use the force, so he can't do anything. So he grabs Rey's shirt and he flips her over his head, slams her onto the ground, and she's still holding the McMuffin. And that's when Luke and the others come in, and Audra could come in with them, and she goes running over to Tyus, and, you know, she's all upset because, you know, he's probably knocked out or something. And Kylo is just like, you know, I'm going to kill her. You know, he has this whole little thing, and while he's yelling at Luke, you know, okay, yeah, but I'm still going to kill your little star pupil here. That's when Rey does the thing, and when he turns to attack her, she vanishes.
At least she had a cool moment.
And that would show her protecting her new family.
Yeah.
Because she goes, when Titus does the freeze, she could be like, haha, you got outdone by an 8-year-old, and he turns around and
force whacks him.
And force whacks him.
Like, oops. It's like, and then she's like, yeah, no, you don't.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, like, give her a moment. Because she kind of just gets whipped on the floor. It's like...
Yeah, she doesn't really have a moment. And also, that's her, you know, and that also would show that even after 2 months of training, she's she's still the desert.
Desert girl.
She's still Desert Rat.
Yeah.
She doesn't use any of her new Force stuff. She doesn't use her new fighting type. She jumps him.
Yeah.
Because in the heat of the moment, that's the muscle memory she has.
Yeah. This is the problem with this treatment, because you don't really get why people are doing things. You have dialogue, and you have actions, but you don't really have motivations for actions. Like, he's fighting his students, and they're dead meat. That implies he's really enjoying murdering these guys. Mm-hmm. Then you have, you were so easy to track, Kylo, you douchebag. Stuff like that. It's like, you're enjoying locking up your neck. Like, wait, what? Who is this guy?
Yeah, this guy, he sounds very ruthless, and I actually think he's worse than what Ruin Johnson gave us, because the torn down battle hero is a possibility. Mm-hmm. You know, battle does do things to people. Yeah. We don't know how easy it was taking back the Empire and reforming the Republic. We don't know exactly what he went through trying to rebuild the Jedis. Yeah, we don't know. You know, because no one told us. Anyway. Also, in the original movies, people didn't take the Force all that seriously. No, so he probably get through a lot of opposition because no one thinks this is real. They're like, oh, you're or kooky it's that big of a threat. Yeah, it's like, kooky religion. Okay. You're just another one of those kooks. Mm-hmm. You know, you don't know what he's been through. You don't know, like, was Snoke someone from the Empire, or was he one of Luke's students? Was he a friend Luke made? Another Force-sensitive person that Luke befriended? This is another reason why a character like Chiron would have been very useful. Not Ahsoka. I see the point of Ahsoka. Ahsoka is there for fan service. Yeah. But Ahsoka should be TV show only. Okay. Chiron was in a movie, so that would put him in the movie canon. And he is a character who you could bring back, and you could have him explaining some of the things to Rey. Mm-hmm. Or Finn, or whoever is the new Jedi character. Because if you had someone like Chiron would have seen everything. He would have been a Padawan during the First Republic. Mm-hmm. He would have been a middle-aged, young adult middle-aged dish, like 40, 50 or something during the Empire. Mm-hmm. And he would have seen the Republic come back and get destroyed. So he's been through a lot. You know, this is a character who we could learn a lot of stuff from. Yeah, if he'd actually written him well, he could have been awesome. You know, and it also would have explained why he doesn't have a lightsaber. If they even had, like, Force-sensitive temple people. Mm-hmm. If he's one of those, maybe they didn't use lightsabers. Yeah. They're not there to fight. They are there to do other stuff with the Force. Mm-hmm. They use staffs instead or something. Yeah, maybe they use staffs. Or maybe he figured that out. Yeah. Maybe he learned to fight. Yeah, because he's like, you're on your own with a guy with a gun. Yeah, pull your own. It's like... you know, maybe after Order 66, he's like, I had to learn how to fight. And maybe he could... And if he got blinded during Order 66, that explains why he couldn't... If it's a planet with no name, and you have to just know, like, how to track it on a map... That would explain why he couldn't find it for a while. Yeah. And if you can't go there, if you're not worthy enough to go there, he can't take Baze with him. Mm-hmm. So that would explain why he's not hiding out there. And also, if Luke is saying that lots of Jedi hid there would be other Jedis. Yeah, I'm sure these alien species don't just kill over dead in, like, a human lifespan. Well, not only that. These are people who have seen their friends cut down in front of them. Mm-hmm. They have... Many of them probably did not survive well. There are probably several Jedi's missing limbs. Yeah. And scarred, to a horrendous extent. There are Jedi's who might have escaped from playing dead. Yeah. And wait till the coast was clear to run for it. These guys probably need a lot of emotional support. How are they not breeding on this island? Yeah, I don't think they follow the rules. They would have given up by then. Yeah, screw it. Screw it. I'm having a good evening. Because he could have had male and female Jedi. Yeah. And Luke and Chiron found him. Or maybe Chiron found him and called Luke and said, hey, guess what? I found your next batch of apprentices. Maybe. And because it's this really special island, Luke took the Padawans away, which is why the Knights of Ren and Kylo don't know where the island is. Mm-hmm. Or maybe Luke's like, no, you guys do your thing. I'll keep it separate just because you've been through enough. And then he goes there after everything's gone to pot. Yeah, and then you could have lots of Jedi. Mm-hmm. Helping out. And you have lots of Jedi Rey could talk to. Mm-hmm. And we could get lots of information about this world. Or you could have summed up Rey's stupid who are my parents plot. They could have been there. Yeah, they're funny. Or their graves are there if you don't want to actually have, like, actors. Yeah. You know, when they go to do the memorial service for Han, Luke takes her to meet her parents' graves.
Yeah. Okay. Oh no, I'll ask you. Which is worse? Episode 8 we got, or this thing?
I think they both have their good points and bad points.
Mm-hmm.
I mostly saw The Last Jedi as a terrible movie because of its retcon and subvert expectations in a bad way, and its mishandling of what Star Wars lore I understood.
Yeah.
And its mishandling of Finn and its mishandling of everything is mainly what made it a bad movie. It also had a terrible script. But seeing this, it's better in the fact it feels a bit more like a Star Wars movie. It's got rotten dialogue. It's got a hopeful undertone, which every Star Wars movie has to some extent. And it does allow Luke to actually be cool.
Yeah, I can do that.
However, it also makes no sense. They also misuse and abuse characters.
Mm-hmm.
Finn is still trashed.
Because he literally does nothing.
In this movie. Yes, he's flying X-Wings and he's doing stuff with Poe, but I thought the reason he didn't go to Luke was because he was slashed in the back. And the movie also makes no mention of, does he have limitations after being slashed? Does he think he can never be a Jedi because maybe he's wearing a type of brace? Maybe his spine had to be completely recreated with those metal screws that they use for spine surgery.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's for scoliosis.
Yeah, scoliosis.
Yeah, maybe he can't bend as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so he thinks, you know, all I can do is shoot a blaster. I can't be a Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a thing. Because you could have a scene with Poe talking to Finn being like, hey, dude, now that you're alive and you're more functioning, maybe you should go and train. Because you could show Finn having force powers. And he's force sensitive and he can do things. And Poe could be like, hey, dude, maybe you should go and join Rey. Mm-hmm. And Finn's like, no, I have these screws in my spine.
There's no way I can do that.
I'm not as flexible as I used to be. Mm-hmm. There's no way I could fight with a lightsaber. I'm limited to the blaster now. And then if you want to turn Rey evil, which is fine with me, I'm A-okay with that, or kill her, that's better, then he would have to step into her place, and there's another thing. He's a stormtrooper with back surgery, and very few people trust him.
Yeah.
And he is the new Jedi.
Yeah. They basically wrote him out of this movie.
Yes, they really wrote him out of this movie, and he's this is my thing. Finn and Poe are the first characters you meet.
And they basically do nothing.
And they're constantly sidelined. Mm-hmm. Which is sad, because they're the only I think those are the characters, it really shows that they're the characters that JJ wrote, because they're the only ones that have any reason to be there. Well, Rey is obviously a Kathleen Kennedy insert, because she has no purpose to the story whatsoever. She adds no value. Mm-hmm. She is annoying. Everybody loves her. She's still a Mary Sue in this. I don't care if she gets trained. I mean, she's a little less of a Mary Sue because she does get trained and things are explained. But people still love her. Everything's about her, but they don't explain why. She has no story. The guys have all the story.
Yeah.
I mean, this is one of those stories, and I've read this in other people's story, like, when I read other people's books. When people have asked me to read over their drafts, I'm always hesitant to ask them, like, would you like me to point out the more interesting story?
Yeah.
And I've done that to myself. You've done that to me, too. You've read my stuff, and you're like, Finley, why couldn't you tell me this one? You've done that to me.
Yes, I have.
I've gotten mad at you. I've sulked in the corner for 3 days. I made a little hamster home in the corner, ripping up old newspapers, and realized, you're right. I was telling the more boring story.
Yeah.
And I had to go and I had to rework the whole thing. And I've done it to you, too.
Yeah. A lot.
And that's the part where when I read people's drafts that they give me to read, I'm like, okay, would you like me, if I find a more interesting story in your book, would you like me to point it out to you, or just help you fix the plot holes you have in this lineup?
Yeah.
Because I know from my experience as a writer and my experience as a story editor, we're really bad at finding the more interesting stories when it's our baby.
Yeah.
And that's when an editor comes in and tells you, no, sweetheart, you need to focus. This needs to be the main character. I don't know who this Sith lady was. I have no reaction or investment in Rey going back in time.
No.
There is no reason for it. It's just to make her more special.
Yeah.
And is she 300 generations back?
Leave her there.
Oh. Are they going to send everybody back in time, or is she going to come back to their time as this Sith lady?
I don't know.
And have to battle Finn, which would actually be pretty cool.
Yeah.
But, Finn was sidelined, Poe was sidelined. Rey still has no point, and I would say it's a better treatment, it's a better story than what The Last Jedi gave us, just because it wasn't built on malice.
Yeah.
But if you look at it as an actual story, it's just as crappy, if not worse.
Okay.
Because at least The Last Jedi had malice.
You had it on emotion out. You got pissed.
I'm pissed while reading this. But at least The Last Jedi, it was bad for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan wanted to do his own thing.
Yeah.
It was bad for a reason. This one is bad because JJ's incompetent.
Yeah.
And if this was the script if this was the story they were going to go with, it really needs a script doctor. I
could see
really bad.
Me personally, I could kind of see people being fine with it, kind of going, okay, well, what are you going to do to end it?
How are you going to end it?
How are you going to end it? So I could see people being a little less mad because Luke isn't, depending on your point of view, isn't as bad in this one. Like
That's true.
He's a little more, you can kind of see it more, except for the whole killing his apprentices. That was like, okay, no, stop.
I mean, way too happy he trapped his nephew.
Yeah, I mean, way too chill
I never
about
called
it.
him Ben once.
Yeah, I never called him Ben. Like, what the heck? It was like, I could definitely see people, if they had the flashy fight scenes, and, I mean, because basically they just write dogfight, so like, okay, if the one-line dogfight turned into something kind of cool and flashy, and it made sense in universe, I could see people defending this.
Mm-hmm. Like, if it at least gave you a fun popcorn movie.
Yeah, or at least like, hey, well, we had the space battles and lightsabers. That's all we care
had
about.
like the important parts of Star Wars. So
the parts that people are paying tickets for.
I'm happy, kind of a deal. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, I could see people being chill with it.
It wasn't preachy. It didn't preach woke politics at you. I could see them liking it for that. I don't like. I guess I'm more of a Debbie Downer because I don't like bad storylines and I don't like woke politics.
So I don't like either.
I don't like them either. I don't like either of them.
Yeah.
I don't like them together, and I don't like one or the other. I like good stories with, good, maybe like good lessons, good themes. I don't really like stories that have a lesson to them. I like to take whatever I want out of it. I'm more of that type of a person. Mm-hmm. This is what I got out of it. This is what I'm going to take away. I don't really like preachy stories, and even if it's preaching a good message, I don't like preachy stories. And
you can see it wouldn't have had as much backlash. I think it's still people still hating it. But I don't think it would have had as much of a
I don't
hatred.
think this one would have split the fandom. Let's put it that way.
Okay. Because at least people have stuff to
I think it would have gotten more of a first Wonder Woman reception in terms of...
At least we have something decent.
It's better than what we've been getting.
Yeah. I could see that.
Because a lot of people, when I tell them I didn't like Wonder Woman, I instantly get a whole bunch of people defending it, and they always compare it to what came before.
Yeah.
And this movie, in comparison to the prequels, I could see people being like, well, at least it's better than X, Y, or Z.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can kind of see that.
And they would be taking it on face value of, well, at least I didn't get another Phantom Menace or Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing. So I could see this movie not splitting the fandom. Mm-hmm. But I could see people being like, well, you just don't appreciate it because you're being over...
Traditionalist or something?
Traditionalist, or you're being this or you're being that. I don't see it splitting the fandom, but I do see it bringing up a lot of discussion. Especially when the last movie comes out, I could see a lot of, debate on does this franchise make sense? Mm-hmm. So...
I mean, I could see it kind of going the way of Star Trek with people kind of getting fatigue. Except for the diehard fans, which are going to go see it no matter what. Mm-hmm. But, people going... What? Kind of a thing, we're done? Because I wasn't that excited to see, this is why I didn't see the 8th one, because I wasn't that thrilled after The Force Awakens.
But you didn't even see that in theaters.
No, I didn't.
You saw it on DVD.
Yeah, I saw it on DVD later. I was like, oh, Star Wars came out? Okay, I'll wait till someone tells me it's okay. Yeah. Because, I just wasn't into it after the prequels. So it's like, It's like, okay. I'll watch the OT. That's about all the Star Wars
I've just never been a huge Star Wars fan. I enjoyed the movies as movies. I think they did do a lot for cinema. Mm-hmm. I think they are, decent stories.
They're fun.
I would rank them as B movies. Yeah. They're very B movie, which is what they were at the box office. Mm-hmm. As the first one was. I don't know what the other ones were, but the first one was a B movie. And I think they deserve that. They're okay.
They're good.
They're fine. They got some plot holes, but it's nothing to the same extent as the prequels and the sequels. This treatment and what we got. So the plot holes in the originals I can live with.
Yeah.
They don't pull me out of the story. They don't destroy any of the expansion of disbelief for me. So I'm completely okay with the originals. I'm not a diehard Star Wars fan. It's not because I'm a girl. I've just never really gotten into space stories outside of the book Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and the radio show. I don't even like the movie. So, yeah. Okay, so, but yeah, that's... I don't know if my rambling made sense, but
I don't know. Okay, basically how I'm going to rank this, because I know we're not really ranking it, but my final call on it is, I probably would have still been pissed at this movie if they made it, but I don't think I would have been as pissed from what I've heard of what we actually got. Because at least they actually had time. They had like, okay, you have 90 days. So it's like, it wasn't like right after kind of a thing. Like, a lot of it did happen right after, but it's like, at least we have some time.
They did not use the title crawl.
No.
Effectively.
No.
Unless they're going to change it to...
Yeah, unless like that whole bit was the title crawl and they just didn't say it.
Yeah, that would have... The fact that they wrote it into actual scenes in between Luke and Rey, I was like, no, this belongs in the title crawl. It doesn't... I think my biggest issue with this movie is it doesn't match up with A Force Awakens.
No.
At all. It still feels like it was written by somebody else.
Yeah, if it was...
So
possibly
that's
JJ.
I think that's my one, but at the same time, JJ is really bad at continuity too. He shows that in the Star Trek movies. He doesn't understand what continuity is because he likes his little mystery boxes, and as long as I keep people guessing, I'm good.
Yeah,
is his mentality, and it shows in this film. There's a lot of nonsense. Well, in this treatment, there's so much nonsense, and it's mostly boring. I think I would find this movie... It's
kind of like... Okay,
about as infuriating.
This is what I'm going to say. The problem is that the Rise of Force Awakens was basically a knockoff of A New Hope with the other movies shoved in. So, basically, all he has to work with is, like, rehashing something that doesn't sound like a remake.
Well, JJ doesn't even take his own advice, because in his TED Talk, he talks about when people rip off the greatest movies, they never rip off the right parts.
Oh, you really did that.
He used Jaws as an example. Where he's like, when people rip off Jaws, they try to rip off the shark. They try to rip off the suspenseful moments. But they never try to rip off the heart of the movie. You know, kind of like when people talk about Jurassic Park. You know, the Jurassic World movies are stupid because they're all about dinosaurs.
Yeah.
People like dinosaurs. No, people liked the character development, the character interaction, the growth.
The dinosaurs was the icing.
Yeah, you could replace the dinosaurs with anything. You could replace them with rogue mannequins. It's the same movie. Pretty much. Just a different setting. But you got the same movie. And JJ doesn't follow that advice. And that's his advice. And so it sounds to me more like he understands... He knows the correct writer terms.
Yeah.
But he has no idea how they're supposed to be used.
Yeah.
He can use all the right terminology, he can use all the right words, so he sounds semi-intelligent, and then you sit there and watch what he produces, and you realize, oh, you actually don't know what you're talking about. You don't know how to put what you know into practice. And to me, if JJ did write this is the ultimate proof. He has no idea what he's writing, what he's talking about.
Anyway.
He doesn't understand his own words.
Let me wrap this up.
I think we killed Essie.
Yeah. My head hurts.
My head hurts.
It's not from this caffeine.
No.
Hey, listen, made it through a whole bottle.
Okay. Well, alright, so...
I hope at least you got entertainment value, if nothing else.
Hopefully this was semi-educational to anybody who wants to be a writer, or... I hope this was informative to anyone who was like, well, at least it's better than The Last Jedi. I think it's about equal.
Yeah, they're about the same.
Honestly, I think the only thing why I would say it's better is I don't think it would have split the fandom.
One or both sides, yeah.
Yeah, I think it would have been more like the prequels. So, that's my thoughts. Again, the link is in the description box below. And read it for yourselves. Come up with your own thoughts on it. These are just my thoughts.
Yeah, just our thoughts, so you could be totally wrong, but... Yeah, so read it
I'm not trying to
yourself.
tell you guys how it should have been or how to write it.
Who knows? Maybe your idea would have been cooler. If you were...
maybe you guys have better ideas than me. That is a complete possibility.
Oh yeah.
I have tropes and I like to use them, like making everyone related.
Yeah.
That's a trope I use a lot. So I hope you got some enjoyment. I hope it's kind of made you think if you're a storyteller. Hopefully this kind of gave you some creative juices things. And yeah, if you guys thought this was way better than The Last Jedi, good for you. I'd love to hear your thoughts. You can either write them in the comments or you can email them to me. Again, my email is in the description box below. Any really good thoughts, I will make a podcast on. But I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoy this content, make sure to follow on your favorite streaming platform. For all news and information about upcoming shows and what I'm up to, make sure to follow me on Facebook. If you wish to contact me to tell me either your thoughts on the episode you heard, or to give me suggestions on future podcasts, or maybe you'd like to co-host with me in a future podcast, you can either message me through Anchor, Facebook, or you can email me at Series of Lives Inc. All links are in the description box below. Make it a great day, and I will talk to you later. Bye!